evidence and we have the right guy. That's what I heard. Philip, your thoughts?
Yeah. The only question that I have is what their jurisdiction is in this case. The statute that he cited is that the killing occurred after this particular officer either tried to prevent attendance at some type of a hearing, production of documents in some type of a hearing, or to prevent communication with a federal official or a federal judge. So I'd be curious to know on what theory they're proceeding, because right now I'm not hearing anything that triggers federal jurisdiction, unless I hear maybe there was evidence that an FBI probe was going on regarding the relationship between this officer and Ms. Birchmore. I don't see how the feds get involved. I do see, though, a state prosecution coming as well, and it's just a matter of time before the grand jury indicts on that. But I'm heartened to see that both the state and the federal government have formed task forces to stomp out this type of carnage, this type of corruption, and these types of homicides, even when it means going after their own men in blue. And there has been tremendous outcry in the state of Massachusetts about the corruption of the police department, and they started with the death of Sandra Birchmore to try to impute it to the entire state and local police forces, which I thought was actually unfair. You're always going to get a bad seed or a bad apple, if you will, in the bunch. But hopefully there will be justice for Sandra Birchmore, and this officer will pay the price.
Well, you also have to think about the Karen Reed case, because there are claims in that case that they are dirty cops, and that it was a cover-up by the cops. Now, I also what stood out to me is that there's also a charge regarding sexually exploiting the child. Perhaps trafficking is in there somewhere, Philip. I, too, was trying to figure out how is the FBI involved in this case, but that could be grounds potentially there. Marie, you are chomping at the bit. Jump in.
I'm angry as a mother of two daughters. I'm a girl mom. I'm wondering, the coroner who ruled this a suicide when it was a strangulation, is he packing up his desk and retaining an attorney? Because I want to know, how did that happen? We're not talking about a poisoning death or, someone who fell. It was a strangulation. Even the most basic crime story junkie knows when it's strangulation, there are telltale signs, damage to your throat, internal structures, a petechiae. Like, how do you miss a strangulation and think it was a suicide? I think the coroner, I don't know, must have been in on it. And if he wasn't, he needs to get a lawyer. He needs to pack up and explain the incompetence to me. I'm angry about that part. 3 years it took for them to arrest somebody. Come on, and what if our parents didn't have money to hire an outside coroner?
That's what I was just going to say.
It's a regular schmegular girl with no resources. It would have just went like a suicide.
And it was thanks to the parents. To your point, exactly. The parents went after this and said, no way was it a suicide. And poor Sandra Birchmore, what she went through, no child should have to go through. All right, I need you all to stand by with me, please. We need to take a break. But when we come back, we'll go back to Nevada.